Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited to welcome you all to today's session, which is Lunch and Earn with Quantoz and the Digital Euro. And for this, I'd like to invite to the stage Gaston Hendriks, CTO at Quantoz. Gaston, please. It's all yours.
First slide. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. So I'm Gaston Hendriks. I'm the CTO of Quantoz, and I'm responsible for the tech team working on the EURD, the digital euro. Today I'm going to talk you through a bit of our future roadmap, the upcoming stuff. But first, I want to tell a bit more about the EURD itself. The EURD is the first regulated electronic money on the Algorand blockchain. The EURD is supervised, so as a company, Quantoz Payments is supervised by the Dutch Central Bank as an EMI, electronic money institution. The EURD is defined as an electronic money token under the new MiCAR regulation. One very important feature of this is that it's 100% backed by law, not just by our promise. We are under supervision, prudential supervision of the Dutch Central Bank, that this money is really there in a bankruptcy remote bank accounts, and we also allow to invest in Euro Treasury bonds. Also by law, our holders always have the right for redemption on a one-to-one ratio. So it's a very secure token. There's one big difference between the EURD and many, many other EMI applications. This is a token on a blockchain. And this provides all kinds of interesting features that other electronic monies cannot provide. The EURD is issued on the Algorand blockchain, and there are certain reasons for that. We went through a comprehensive selection process. Algorand blockchain came up as the most logical choice, as the best fit for purpose blockchain for this type of applications. Algorand is really the blockchain of choice for payments and for tokenization of assets with a lot of transactions. One other thing of Algorand is that it has in its core protocol the ASA, the Algorand Standard Assets, with all kinds of core protocol functionalities like whitelisting, freezing, even clawback, that are relevant and important for regulators to be a regulated EMT. Our total issued reserve, not in float but created, issued, is 10.55 trillion euro. That number is not random. This is the exact M1 money reserve of the European Central Bank in October last year. Gives a bit our ambition. About the EMT. Next, I want to go through the development update. Well, very important. 2 days ago, we released our app. I hope you also going to download and work with it. This is a consumer app. This is not for businesses. It has the simple functionality a consumer needs. It can fund, it can redeem, it can pay, it can receive. And it's really focused on protecting the consumer in different ways. For example, the app always has one what we call managed account. And a managed account means that we hold the private key for the consumer. This is not maybe in line with all the nice blockchain principles, but this is the only way to make sure consumers don't lose keys. Also in the app, we don't show anything about blockchain. There's no mention. Consumers don't care. They just need a thing that works. Another thing of protection is the privacy. For example, if I do a payment, as a consumer, I have to opt in to share my name with the receiver. By default, I can pay in privacy. And the same thing is on the receiver side. When I create a payment request, I have to opt in to share my name with the payer. It's like on the market. If you buy an ice cream, you don't have to tell your name to the one selling you the ice cream. Another thing is that we, for the managed accounts, we pay the fees. So the blockchain fees are paid by Quantoz, so consumers don't have to be bothered in any way with the blockchain itself, making it very, very simple for them. Install now, it's out. Be aware, it's only for European use. So you can only download it in Europe, and it's only to be used by Europeans. That's our regulator involving. Just search for EURD, and you will find it in the app stores. The next release we're working on right now, July, August, then we will add the first support for self-managed accounts. Self-managed accounts are accounts where the owner holds the keys themselves. For example, we use the example of the Pera wallet. I have an account in the Pera wallet, and I can connect it with my EURD account at Quantoz, and from that moment on, I can interact with these accounts also. It's very important because this opens all the blockchain features for more professional users and for business users. What we also have in the wallet app is the security code. It will be used later on to also have access to the portal for business users. I'll explain later. Another thing that we will add in the new app is the KYC for the upgrading of your account. The first tier, the default tier you have when you start, has a limited funding and redeem size, and the higher tier, the more KYC we can increase that. And this, for consumers, it will be completely automated. Business accounts, business customers can already onboard just on the Quantoz Pay website, filling in the form, and you will be contacted by compliance for further processing. Then the web portal. The web portal is for businesses and for professional users. Users first need to have a personal account with the wallet, because that gives the security and the OTP, the two-factor authentication, to log on as a business. So personal accounts are connected with business accounts. In the business account, one user will also be defined as the administrator, and that can also add more and more users with different user roles for the business. The portal will provide the same functionalities, the basic functionalities for payments as the app does, but then for businesses. But more important, it provides the way to automatically, through the portal, whitelist your self-managed accounts. So you can connect your other blockchain, other Algorand accounts with the EURD. And last but not least, it's the place where you manage your APIs. So the keys can be set, and with the API, you can automate as a business your interaction with EURDs. I give now an example of how this whitelisting works in practice. I used my Pera account, Pera wallet, to do so. The first step in Pera is you opt in with the EURD token. It's a standard action in Pera. The second step is that you create a self-transfer, meaning a small transaction of one algo to yourself. And in the node of the transaction, you put the OTP code, the one-time password code that you see in the portal. And that way, you prove both the ownership of that address and your identity because you were logged in to the portal. And then, when you click on the activate, the Quantoz Payments backend will connect your account to the EURD. And from that moment on, you're ready to go. All blockchain features are open. A few more words on the API. The API, well, in the backend, you manage your keys, the security keys. The API provides several basic functions, just like the mobile app and the portal for financial, for payments, fundings, redeems. But more important for businesses and merchants is, of course, the automation of payment requests, to automatically create QR codes or requests for a web shop to be able to receive EURD as payments. And special features also, automation of whitelisting. Imagine you have a large set of IoT devices that need to have their own addresses because they are profit centers in themselves. Then you can automate also adding additional self-managed accounts and whitelist them. Then something special. This is really for our business partners. It's a specific set of APIs that enable integration of EURD wallet functionality inside their own applications, their own mobile apps. This is specifically being worked on as we speak with a public transport company that really would like to have this very efficient and cheap payment method in their app, but do not want to bother customers with downloading specific apps and going through the whole procedure. Of course, this will only work for tier 1, the low KYC tier. Then, use cases. There's two main groups of use cases that we look at. The first group of use cases is everything that has to do with payments. And why this is interesting for merchants? Well, first thing, there's no fees. If you compare with normal payment processing, there can be substantial fees, percentages, fixed fees. If you have credit card integration in your website, no fees. Second, there's no risk. The payments are instant. If they're in your wallet, they're there. They're on the blockchain. They're firm. There's no chargebacks. And they're secure. The EURD is under supervision by the Dutch Central Bank. So what kind of typical applications we see, and some of them we also have discussions with businesses. Of course, anything online. Online payments, in-game payments, Web3 payments. But also, very, very interesting, is the unbanked. Not everybody has a bank account. If you have a child, you can give EURD to their wallet. They can pay with it. IoT devices machines are also unbanked. And machines can become owner of money. And this also connects with this high volume, low transaction value payments. You have to imagine, let's suppose we have a service, online service, that has a value of 10 cents. You pay 10 cents. But your payment processor asked 25 cents as a fee. This is impossible. So this type of payment methods can enable a whole new world of applications. Micropayment applications. One of the examples we have there is a public transportation company. They want to add this as a payment method to their app. Typical payment for a bus ticket is €1.50 or something. Currently, they have integrated a payment service provider. It takes about 10 cents or 15 cents. The typical margin on public transport is between 2 and 5%. They have a loss on every transaction. Charging, small charging sessions, same problem. Tolling, there's a lot of fraud on toll roads. Small transactions with credit cards. These type of transactions can really benefit from this technology. And then there's the high-risk payments. Payments where there's a high risk of chargebacks. And also where privacy can be important. We enable all these transaction options with EURD. But even more important in the long run, especially for us, is delivery versus payment. And now we come on territory where only a blockchain can work. Payments is still possible with EMIs that work with Oracle databases. This can only work on blockchain. When you trade in tokenized assets, whether it be financial assets or tokenized real-world assets, there's always the problem that you need to trade the tokenized asset for a euro or for money. And currently, a lot of tokenized assets are still traded and funded by traditional payments in credit cards or bank transfers. We can be the money leg. And this morning on stage, big stage, already was presented that we did the first big transaction on the Archex exchange, EURD versus a tokenized treasury bond of Aberdeen. That's the real big applications that are now possible because of blockchain. It removes the counterparty risk, it's instant, and already emphasized this morning, using atomic transactions, where the blockchain is the clearing partner, is the thing where blockchain makes a difference. Me owning EURD, you owning tokenized assets, can create one transaction together, sign both, and the blockchain will only accept both actions or none. The blockchain does the clearing. So it's really a payment of a delivery versus payment instantly without the need of the third party in between. This will change the whole way of thinking in trading. The guarantee of delivery and of the payment. And because it's on blockchain, it of course also is possible to use the EURD with all kind of smart contracts. whether it be central, decentral. We don't know yet what contracts will be made and be used. So any blockchain magic can grow. And what application types? As already mentioned, the exchanges, and we mentioned specifically also the regulated exchanges, because we think the market on the regulated, on the traditional financial markets is huge compared to the crypto markets, and they can really benefit from this kind of technology. But of course, also decentralized exchanges can work. Once they are whitelisted, once they go through compliance, everything can also be a smart contract. Peer-to-peer trading. People can directly interact in trades using atomic transactions, being certain of delivery and payment. And because it's on a blockchain, you can make very complex contracts, payments in installments, with interest rates, the money becomes programmable. Then, well, I'm good in my time. One last thing. It's about the privacy again. Many people don't realize when they do a payment with a credit card or with a bank, all your personal details are shared through the whole chain. There's zero privacy there. We want to bring that back. And this manifesto is a very strong one. But there's one but. We will not go to prison for you. Is there questions on this? Yeah. The mic? Yeah. Yeah.
Hi. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my question is, everything's on apps right now, but do you have any plans for point-of-sale devices? Do you have any? Are you looking into that, where you can tap and pay, for example, with your phone?
Yeah, it's a thought. We're not there yet. It's because it's already on a phone. There's a lot of features that you can use. In time, whether it be months or maybe a bit later, these things will happen. Maybe not by us, maybe by others. Yeah, certainly.
Hi, thank you for the great presentation. Just a question, for the high-risk client, do you guys have a clear definition of what class of high risk you support and what are the high class that you wouldn't support? For example, gambling and so do you have a clear definition of the class of the customer that you do not support?
Yeah. There's only one class of customers we cannot support, and that's the customers, the business customers, that need a license for their activity, but don't have it. And we can, of course, we cannot support anybody on the terrorist list, but that's standard regulation. Yeah.
Hey, congrats for the presentation. How do you deal with the traceability of the blockchain among different payments? If someone goes there and try to see it, to check like what your history on payments, although they are not going to identify who belongs. Yeah.
This is a topic we also discuss internally. There are several ways to deal with that. Some of them also discussed with the Algorand Foundation itself, working on some zero-knowledge functionality. But the easiest way, and that's something we do not want to go yet, but we will have to do in the end, is to take the managed accounts partly off-chain. The self-managed accounts, they can manage their own privacy. Yeah. But this
Just
is
to make sure that I understand, you said like if I have self-custod account, I can use different ways to mechanism them, have
If-
a hierarchical wallet
Yeah.
or things like that.
yeah.
But if it's like you are managing, you are going to make it.
Yeah, we are responsible for the privacy of the managed accounts itself. Self-managed accounts, self-custody, we assume anybody doing self-custody should be able to take care of this themselves. Especially business customers. Yeah.
So some of the main motivation for having blockchain as a transaction medium is that it is decentralized. Do you have any estimates or derivations of the security aspects, so the reliability, dependent on the number of nodes that are spread around the globe that are independent from each other?
This was one of the sets, the set of requirements that we made for selecting blockchains. Is one of the requirements. I do not have a specific definition on it. But Algorand came out well, and especially with the big nodes on the academic world. Yeah.
It would be interesting to read that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, the consensus model is very important here. Yeah.
With this particular asset, is there a freeze and clawback attached to it? So let's say you find one of these people who's got an account as a bad actor, and the government says you need to seize their assets right now, freeze them from preventing any future transactions.
The answer is yes. Otherwise, we would not have our license. But this needs to be used very prudential. There needs to be really something really wrong. Yeah.
To follow on the last question, you said you wanted it to be used very prudentially. Does that mean that you would require a warrant or something like that? Or do you have protocols in place?
Indeed, there needs to be a request from a governmental agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no necessarily, it probably works different in Europe than the US, but in the US, financial data needs a warrant attached to it in some cases.
It's indeed, and it has to be very specific.
Okay.
So it cannot be something like, give me all the addresses of, no, it has to be, we have one specific entity, one specific person, and we want to know, or one address, we want to know who's behind, with a reason. Yeah. Now, Europe has very strict privacy regulation in that field. Yeah. So we have 10 minutes left. Yeah, the learner lunch is supposed to be a very, very interactive session, but it's a bit different scene now here. One more question.
Do you have plans to also move into becoming a sort of alternative payment method that it appears on checkouts, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Amazing. Looking forward to hear the development on that.
Yeah. No.
Maybe a bit more local one and to the point. Is Bancontact or Payconic one of your competitors, and how do you plan on tackling them?
Sorry, is
Bankcontact. and
Bankcontact.
Yeah.
We know them very well from another perspective, but they're not yet. No, we have a lot of contacts with the Payment Association, the Dutch Payment Association. There is. They have the European group as well, but yeah, not yet.
I'm asking because they usually have lower fees than, for example, Visa or MasterCard.
They are very expensive.
Even Bankcontact.
Bankcontact. Bankcontact is one of the most expensive payment methods in Europe. And, yeah.
Do you have any rough estimates?
About what?
So how much per transaction goes if it's with Visa, Bankcontact?
Now, Bankcontact typically is 1.5% fee, plus like 20-25 cents. And that's quite a high level compared to some other payment methods. But still, if you compare with PayPal, it's not that expensive. But if you have a low margin product or a very high volume product with a low price, you cannot use Bankcontact. Yeah. Okay. Then thank you for being here.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Gaston. Truly appreciate you coming here. It was an excellent, very informational session. Thank you very much.